There are clearly risks to shared governance in our institutions. First and foremost is uh, perhaps a board that doesn't recognize the critical nature of including the various stakeholders in addressing the kinds of challenges institutions face. Several things happen. One, I think you lose quality of input to some big issues that only professionals in a specific field can add value on. Secondly, you begin to fragment the sense of engagement from stakeholders whose input you really want to value or want to benefit from. If boards send a signal that they both have all of the authority and they won't delegate any of it in an accountable way to those who could add value on critical issues, you weaken the entire institution. And when you add that to the array of challenges, from funding challenges to the pressures of addressing questions like how our students learn and how we're going to teach them going forward, the whole question of online education, uh, we can't we weaken the academy if we don't implement shared governance effectively with the faculty. With the administration, there's even a potential for higher risk. If boards are not acting in a way that is truly supportive of strong and effective leadership and allowing their presidents to lead them through these far more turbulent times in which higher education is coping with change, uh, then what we run the risk of having are boards that are heading off in one direction, not fully not in full sync with the expectations that they have of their presidents, and a lack of clarity of what the presidents might think they should expect from their board. Presidents and boards, in the context of shared governance, need to be certain that what they have at the end of the day is trust and a commitment to mutual expectations. And those need to be addressed, framed, thought through, and committed to. And once those are in shape and agreed upon, that's when a board can hold the president truly accountable for moving the institution forward. When there's a breakdown in establishing those expectations both ways, between a president, a chief executive officer of a system, and the CEO's governing board, that's when we run a higher degree of risk of shared governance at that level failing to do what it needs to do. Unfortunately, there are many examples of failed governance and failed strategic governance. Some demonstrated by boards that are overly engaged and make decisions based upon information that only they believe they've acquired through reading of newspapers or watching TV or whatever their source may be, but they have forgotten the fact that they operate in a sandbox, if you will, that appropriately includes other stakeholders to help affect the kind of decisions that need to be made. So when a board of trustees claims a decision based on information that only they have acquired, and um, they indicate that they have the ultimate authority to make any decision they choose to make, and clearly demonstrate the lack of respect that's so essential in moving these institutions forward, especially in difficult times, to or for any of the other stakeholders. That is a risk that we've not only seen examples of, but may increasingly be at risk of occurring going forward, because the stakes, because the pressures are so profound in both public and private higher education. Increasingly, we run the risk of boards just saying we know what's best, we have experience from our own corporate roles or other external positions that they hold, and we're going to move forward because we have to move quickly. On the other hand, we've seen institutions where boards have actually fallen asleep at the switch. And the part of shared governance that has failed for them is their own engagement. There are other examples where boards have, and I think part of it has to do with the fact that so many of them are not appropriately informed or oriented to an understanding of what shared governance is, where the model has fallen apart. The last example is one that I think we're hearing too often, and that is the fact that an increasing number of college and university presidents, a position that is the true definition of a 24/7 responsibility, are not getting the kind of support and trusted support from their boards. And that creates a kind of uh, ripple effect that's felt throughout a campus. Increasingly, we've seen presidents receive votes of no confidence from faculty. Even boards of trustees are receiving votes of no confidence. And a lot of that has to do with the level of engagement that is perceived, starting with the Board of Trustees. And we're seeing that at an increasing number of places.